Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. You know, the goal of this channel has always been to get you in the group of people that actually make money. And guys, over 90% of everyone investing in crypto lose money. I truly want to change that. So therefore, I don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear. And I want to be clear, it's your money. Do with it as you will. But I believe the biggest reason most people lose money in crypto is more than 90% of the information you get is straight bullshit. So in this video, I'm going to give you some alpha, and then we're going to talk about the Canton Network. Guys, this thing is a powerhouse for RWAs and privacy. The tech is a step above about everything out there. And if I say something you disagree with, please do some research, factual, non-biased research, and compare and send it to me. I'll correct it. But guys, I promise you, if you compare the Canton Network to any other tech out there outside a few, the select few, nothing is in its league. I mean, nothing. Does that mean it's going to go to the moon? No, because unfortunately, right now, you know, this is a new asset class, and it's pure speculation that moves most of these tokens. But most tokens were not set up for you to make money. You know, I used to be a licensed 3 futures and options trader. I bought my first foreign currency back in 1990. And guys, cryptos are not stocks. Most of them make zero money. They are almost exactly like commodities. So like if you have a freeze in Florida, orange juice goes to the moon. It may do an 11x. But if you don't take profits, it's coming back down, if that makes any sense. So anyway, hit the like button. Let's dive into this alpha and talk about Canton token. All right. Before we do, I just got to give a shout out, guys. I'm not a big crypto banter fan. He's a nice guy, but I've never seen anyone flip-flop so much. But he interviewed the CEO of Canton. And it was one of the best, most informative videos I've ever watched. And if you watch that video and it will give you the information to compare to other projects, other RWA, other privacy tokens. And if you watch that video, I find it hard to believe you won't start stacking the Canton Network like I'm going to do. Guys, I'm being honest. And again, I don't care what you do with your money. I'm telling you what I know and what I'm doing with my money. If I had to hold like any altcoin, which I don't and I won't after the cycle is over. Hodling is the #1 way to get wrecked, in my opinion. But if I had to, it would be the Canton token. That's how convinced I am that this thing is the real deal. So, shout out to Crypto Banter, and I will leave a link to that video in the comment section. I'll pin it at the top. Go watch that, and I'll also put it in the description. All right. Look, guys, it's rough out there. It's crazy. The government is finally opening up. I think that's going to be bullish. The biggest thing and the biggest reason I believe everything is down right now is because we're not getting any data. So people think, and they could be right, I don't know, that the reason they're not giving us the data and they're not going to go find it, they're saying they're just going to skip to the current times, is because maybe inflation has went up or the jobs are different than they've been seeing, and so therefore we might not get those rate cuts. But I think they'll come out and do something to pump these markets. Trump will figure out a way to pacify everyone. I could be wrong, but Anyway, guys, I know it's hard out there. It's rough out there. And I am so glad I know how to short. And if you want to learn how to short, guys, I highly recommend it. And we'll talk about it at the end. All right. Guys, the fear and greed went down to 15 yesterday. Now it's bounced back up to 25. But I've said this 1,000 times, and guys, this is some alpha. Now, unless you believe this cycle is over and there's not going to be an altcoin season, this is when you start stacking. If we're lucky, it will get down to the red. But guys, think about this. If you buy in the red and the dark orange, and it starts to pump to the yellow, to the light green, not the dark green, you're already dumping on people. So you can bet your ass that the smart money right now that believe that we have more to come are stacking. And they're going to start selling as everything picks up right when the fear and greed gets back to 50 and 60 and everyone starts to buy. Guys, I get terrified over 50. I don't want to buy altcoins when it gets over 50. To me, that's a 50-50 chance that it may go higher. It's a scale to 1 to 100. So if you're buying down at 20, fear and greed, you got 80% odds in your favor is the way I see that. So consider that. All right. Now, guys, let me just give you a metaphor. I know I'm rambling. Let me rant for a minute because it's a lot of alpha. And then we will get into Canton and we'll take a look at some information and the chart. But guys, if I told you, this is the BS, the asinine BS that we get in crypto. Now, if I told you that I had a friend that was 27 foot tall, you would be like, Ray's flat out lying. I don't think I can convince anyone that outside of maybe a 3 or 4 year old. Now, and then imagine if I brought on people all over, my friends, and say, yep, we've seen him. And then imagine other influencers telling everybody, Ray's got a friend that's 27 foot tall. And then I start selling tickets, say for $100 to go see him, say in 2 years. I'm going to walk him out on stage and you can see him. How many of you would buy the tickets? But here's the big question. If I'm willing to lie to you that much that you know is 100% not humanly possible, you would laugh at me. And you probably wouldn't come back to this channel unless you just wanted a good laugh and see what kind of stupid comment I might say, right? Well, this is your money. And there's more BS about your money mathematically that are impossible that people, eat up every day. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Now, hear me out, guys. And look, if this doesn't make you go, what the fudge? I can't help you. And I say that with love. But imagine this, guys. Okay, let me tell you something. And I knew this, but I didn't put the pieces together. Guys, if you add up all the assets and all the money in the world, it only comes out to $470 trillion. That's how much money's in the world. It's not a lot. I mean, it's an immense amount. That's how much $1 trillion is. Did you know it would take you 32,000 years to count to 1 trillion? 32,000 years. That's 24/7. That's how much $1 trillion is. So it's $470 trillion of all the assets in the world. Now, if with where the circulating supply for XRP is right now, not when it's fully diluted, 10K XRP is $600 trillion. Now think about that. I have better chance of having a friend that is 27 foot tall than XRP getting to 10K. There's not even enough money floating around in the world. If every American sold their house, it wouldn't be the same market cap as 10K XRP. So think about that, guys. Those are the people that are dominating crypto that you've been listening to. Man, it's bizarre to me. All right, that's enough of the rant. Let's get into the good stuff. All right, guys. Now think about that. Out of the $470 trillion floating around in the world, Canton Network has already tokenized 6 trillion of that. That's mind-blowing. And guys, that's mainly through one customer, the DTCC, with the repo markets and the treasury. They are dominating. When people tell you that, oh, you know, these certain tokens are going to take over the world when it comes to tokenization, which everything's going to be tokenized, this one's doing it. It's not tomorrow, next week. They're doing it. And guys, they process over 4 trillion a month. And what the CEO said was they have a lot of news coming that their customers, guys, don't want to put that information out there. You got to think, man, Wall Street and banks and all that is cutthroat. That's why you don't hear a lot of announcements coming out of Wall Street about what they're up to when they're building out their blockchains. All right, so that's extremely positive, and no one else can touch that comment. No one's brought that much on chain, not all of them combined. Now, when you get into the tokenomics, it has some of the best and most fair tokenomics in all of crypto. You know, guys, I hate to say this, but obviously you're starting to figure this out. Guys, the reason I do this stuff and share this information is people are getting wrecked, but they don't want to hear why. Well, guys, this is why. Cryptos are not set up for us to make money. We are speculating. When these foundations and these companies build out their blockchains, guys, they stack the deck right out of the gate. I'm not going to call it a scam because it's legal and no one's twisting your arm. But they set it up where they create a token, they create a blockchain, and they're going to get rich dumping on you no matter if it's successful or not, even the crappy ones. But even the best tokens in the world that have real utility don't make any money, and they don't need the speculation. The projects can run without speculation, but the speculation is fueling all their money. It's set up where you maybe make enough to keep you in the game. But guys, that's change, and it's changing. You got Hyperliquid kicked that ball off, right? Now you got these flywheels that are buybacks and burns, and you actually have accrued value for token holders. And projects that don't have that is pure speculation. And it doesn't mean they can't pump. Let me be clear. But once they pump, dude, it's game over. Take your profits and run. And don't fall in love and don't listen to these people that don't even understand third grade math. All right. Now, the project was basically set up like Bitcoin, right? No one, there was no pre-mined tokens. What they did, they raised some money to create the project, but no one got an allocation. All the people like Goldman Sachs and Citibank and people that are building on this blockchain, they didn't get an allocation. They have to earn that allocation as they go through the mint and the minting process when they run the nodes and operate the system. All right, let me see here. Okay, as it sits right now, think about it, guys. I don't know any other blockchain that can make this claim. The founders, because there were no real, and the early investors do not have the biggest allocations. It's the people that are running the nodes and running and building on the system that are already outperforming or have more allocation because they earned it than even the founder. Think about that, guys. That's about as fair as it gets. And they have a flywheel where every time they make fees, something gets burned. Now, a lot of projects out there claim, oh, we're deflationary. Guys, nothing is deflationary when they dump more supply than they burn. There's only a few deflationary projects out there, period. And this one could be one of them in the very near future. It won't take any time before they are already burning more than they are minting. It's pretty impressive. All right, now let's talk about the tech. Now here's why the tech is so great and why Wall Street is willing to stack 6 trillion RWAs onto the blockchain. It's privacy, guys. And I didn't really realize that, but you got to think about it. And this is not privacy like ZCASH. It's different. It's built into the ecosystem. It's built into Canton. All right, guys. So basically what they did, they got together, and this is unlike any other project. It was built to dominate RWA and built with a lot of the people that already have the trillions of assets like DTCC and Goldman Sachs. So if they just keep those two customers, they're going to dominate RWA, period. All right. So basically, guys, you got a system. Imagine Ethereum. And then imagine if you wanted to build on Ethereum, you basically clone Ethereum. They're called cantons, right? So you basically build out your own blockchain that is part of the big picture in a canton. And it can be public, it can be private, and it can be permissionless. So therefore, guys, it gets rid of all of that risk of hacks. There's no bridge token needed. And it's a lot more safe. And the privacy, there's no privacy token needed. It's all built in together. Wall Street loves that because Wall Street does not want to use, for example, a single ledger. That's another advantage of the Canton tech. Guys, every single canton has its own ledger. So even if the main ledger went down, your ledger just keeps on trucking. And if your ledger went down, you can have backup. But you can control your ledger, you can control everything about your project, and if you want it to be private, you can keep it private. Because guys, the reason that's so important to banks and Wall Street is you don't want the competition to be able to track your money flow and what you're doing. You can do that pretty much across the board. And you don't want anyone to be able to go into your project and hack it or make changes. So moving money around, guys, is very serious to the banks and to Wall Street. You don't get to mess up much. So Canton, guys, I'm telling you, it's a powerhouse. And I know I'm not doing, this is a layman's way of talking about it. But guys, some of the biggest players, like I said, Goldman Sachs, Citi, DTCC, they're not just partners, they're building in the ecosystem. They have had say in the code. They have had say in all the documents and all the rules and everything together. It's not like everything else. Oh, there's a partnership with Citibank. No, Citibank is basically a partner inside, doing work together, if that makes sense. All right. And I highly recommend, guys, go to the website, surf around. Look, this is one thing that cracks me up. Most projects have a Twitter account. They have YouTube. Look at this, guys. Canton is one of the hottest. I think it should be the hottest. People are going to catch on. You know, I've been following them for over 2 years, and the reason I didn't mention them all the time, which I mentioned, people say, look, y'all don't know the dominant players that don't have a token. Well, I was talking about Canton for the most part. But look at this. Has a YouTube channel, only 875 subscribers. And look at this. 300 views, 96 views, 93 views. People don't care. They would rather have someone tell them, you know, $10,000 XRP instead of actually going to learn the math and study tokenomics and market cap. For whatever that's worth, guys. But go to their YouTube channel. Also go to the Canton X account. Now I'm going to play this for you. This is about their tokenomics. So stay with me and we'll look at the chart.
For years, blockchains rewarded those who got in early, while builders and users were left behind. Canton flips the script. Introducing Cantonomics, the tokenomics powering a fairer network. 2/3 of rewards flow straight to builders and users, those creating real network value. So, what is Canton Coin? It's Canton Network's native utility token, the fuel that powers and rewards the ecosystem. For builders, it's a revenue model that scales. Charge transaction fees, earn continuously, reward loyalty, and drive transparency into network value, all while preserving privacy. Cantonomics rewards utility, not speculation, recognizing builders and users who create real value. The more useful your app, the more you earn. Build, earn, scale, repeat. That's the flywheel of real utility, and it's sustainable by design, a burn and mint balance that keeps supply aligned with real demand. When app fees are burned, new coins are minted, keeping the system naturally in check. Discover and build apps, powered by Cantonomics. Canton, where finance flows. For years,
guys, I'm telling you, this is a powerhouse. It is so much more fair than anything out there. You know, when Caspa kicked off their fair launch, I thought everything was going to change. And that was a big deal, and there was a lot of projects followed. But unfortunately, Caspa doesn't have the adoption or the flywheel to capture accrued value for the token holders. But that started a movement. Now Hyperliquid has started another movement. It has accrued, it accrues value to the token holders. So those are the projects of the future. I truly believe, guys, that I don't care how much utility a project has. If it doesn't make any money and accrue any value back to the token holder, and it can't feed its ecosystem, what you got? I mean, there's no value outside of speculation. Now, that being said, guys, I highly recommend going to watch, go watch Banter's video. He can tell you, it'll make a lot more sense. He speaks a lot better than me. Now, that being said, I don't know how low Canton can go. It came out a little, it came out kind of flat. It kind of went up. But now it's down, what, at 11 cents. I'm going to start stacking here because I don't know when things are going to turn around. We could easily wake up tomorrow morning and everything is pumping. Trump has, spit out a tweet or made it some kind of comment and or whatever, and things could just jump immediately. So if you dollar cost average, if you're still bullish and you dollar cost average down from here, let's say it goes to 10 cents, 5 cents. Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy. I hope it falls to a penny. I'd really load the boat. And even Banter, who has, over 1 million followers, and they're watching these videos, he said, if it gets to 10 cents, I'm stacking. And once these, you know how these influencers are, they don't talk about anything that doesn't grow their channel. But when things start to pump, they'll start talking about it. I remember making videos about Chainlink at $3, $3.50, whatever it was, and no one, thought anything about it. Then when it hit like $10, oh, it's going to go to the moon, it's changing the world. And again, that's a perfect example of the difference between Canton and Link. Link doesn't have good tokenomics. It doesn't have a flywheel to accrue value for the token holders. All right, that being said, guys, I'm going to be stacking Canton. But my new game plan is to not hold and hodl any tokens. The next pump up, if we have one, I'm going to pretty much get out of everything I own outside of my Bitcoin. And then I'm going to stay in the game, but I'm going to swing trade and short. And we've been doing extremely well in our inner circle shorting because, guys, as you know, every time you get excited and go to FOMO in, you're just exit liquidity. And it's been that way for 3.5 years. And I'm not going to sit here and keep stacking projects hoping for altcoin season to bail out my losses or to give me that upside. I'm going to go in there and take it if I possibly can. So instead of waiting for a 15x, which Canton could do, not saying it will, I don't see why it's not in the top 5. And I think it can get there. But that may be next year, the year after. Hell, it may be the next cycle. I don't know. But I'm going to swing trade from the bottom on low leverage, just like I am right now. Believe it or not, guys, I'm long XRP on 3x leverage. And when it pumps up to maybe around $3, I'm going to take profits. And then I'll be ready to go short. That being said, guys, do yourself a favor. Learn to short if you have time and to do it. I have what I believe the best shorting course ever created. And I want to build the best short community in crypto. So for $250, which is about as low as I can go to justify my time, you get the shorting course for 13 videos. You get a Zoom call to go over everything in the shorting course to make sure you have a good understanding in my method, which is different than most guys. We short the pumps. We short the all-time highs. Guys, we don't short when things break down. Like anyone going looking for shorts right now, they're out of their mind if something's going down. You short the pumps on days like this. I would be shorting, for example, Tailcoin, which I guess just disappeared. But guys, I'm making a video on Tailcoin. That is the first true crypto bank. I guess it's already fallen so much. But guys, it was pumping up like 123% earlier. And the only reason I didn't put it in our inner circle, I couldn't find anywhere to short it. Anyway, if you want to learn to short, guys, reach out. It's only $250. And you also get 5 months of my inner circle. That being said, if you want someone to help you with your portfolio, go through it with you, I got a portfolio course. It's 18 videos. It's going to answer everything you need to know from A to Z. How to build out a portfolio, how to compare, how to understand tokenomics, how to dollar cost average in and out, how to get a game plan. But then I do a Zoom call with you, look at your portfolio, and you get 5 months of my inner circle. Again, only $250. Or you can just join the inner circle. Now, that being said, guys, this went a little bit longer than I wanted to, and I know I'm ranting, and people don't want to hear the truth. They call videos like this FUD. But, guys, if you understand the game and you compare these projects, and then once you find some information like that it's impossible, literally, mathematically, my 27-foot friend doesn't exist. There is no such thing as 10K XRP. So if you stop listening to people that are either extremely uneducated or dishonest, you'll do a lot better. Go straight to the source. And if someone tells you, for example, ALGO is going to take over the world, well, whatever thing they're doing to take over the world, go see what the world's doing. Who are they taking it from? And the odds are they have a game plan. Wall Street and the banks are just going to be more dominant. And this is just software and code, guys. It's open source. If you got the customers, that's what you got. Anyway, guys, go watch that video. at Banter and go watch the Fed Payment Crypto Summit. If you haven't watched that, guys, I find it hard to believe anyone's serious about their money. I say that with love. It's your money. But guys, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments. Come back and be part of this community. Subscribe. And remember, guys, if the majority were right, the majority would be rich. And if you don't take profits, you're going to become the prophets. Take care, guys.